what's up, y'all? We're back for another episode of the Root Canal Records Review Roundup.
This is why I don't leave the house. Cue the music.
Fuck it. And that's right, we're back for another episode of the Root Canal Records Review Roundup, the Horror Month edition, week fucking 2. And we're talking about...
I have the scariest song to show you guys today.
Yeah?
Well, we'll get to it.
Okay, all right. Well, he's coming in confident. But yeah, we're just talking about like a bunch of shit that's going on, a bunch of records we care about, and the shit that brought us together. One thing that definitely is a part of me and Omar's childhood, because we got fucking fucked up as shit in his basement listening to this and blasting this all the time, is the Nightmare Revisited, the Nightmare Before Christmas cover album by a bunch of just fucking metal bands, including like Korn, which does one of the coolest fucking Kidnap the Sandy Claus renditions of all time, Rise Against, Amy Lee. I mean, there's so many fucking people. Omar, I feel like that is your favorite Tim Burton horror movie because...
Yeah, of course.
Because you're...
I mean, it's everybody's, right?
No,
it's like
no.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in hot, and my wife isn't here right now.
Corpse Bride?
I think The Corpse Bride is a better movie. I think Nightmare Before Christmas has more iconic imagery.
There.
I've never seen Corpse Bride.
Really? It's a really good movie.
I need to see it.
It's like his last good animated movie.
Yeah.
Because he kind of fell off. Like, later Tim Burton is not as good.
Yeah. They're different movies, right?
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas came out the year we were born, right? 93.
Was it actually?
Is that true?
That's crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, obviously fucking iconic movie. And I'm not even trying to shit on it. Like, I think it's a fucking great movie. For me, it's just like, I think like the way the story is kind of lined up, like, isn't as succinct. It's like, for a second, it's like, Jack finds out about Christmas, right? And that's great. But then it's just like, all right, now we're at the part where the Air Force is like shooting at him. And it's just like, I feel like it kind of jumps all over the place. But I think still, like, the fucking Halloween town going around there. Oh, the music.
So good.
Iconic. And that's what we're talking about. So the Nightmare Revisited, if y'all don't know, came out in 2008, which is like a fucking peak for all of us. Obviously, like scene time, emo time. And yeah, fucking like the All American Rejects are on here. Flyleaf, fucking Korn, Rise Against.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dude.
it's such a good album. My favorite ones are definitely All American Rejects doing Jack's Lament.
Ooh.
Korn doing Kidnap Santa Claus, of course, is the best part of the album.
Ooh, Tiger Army did Oogie Boogie song. All right, here's what I'm gonna say.
Rise Against Making Christmas, great,
Yeah.
and Amy Lee Sally song. Those
Yeah.
are my favorite.
For me, my favorite's definitely Kidnap the Sandy Claus. That goes in.
Yeah.
But of course, like Making Christmas. I was listening again today just to like check it out again, like familiarize myself with it. They could not have picked a better band for Making Christmas than Rise Against.
I know, it works so well.
And
It has such energy to it.
Yeah, exactly. Not even being biased. It's just such a good, fast-moving song. You're like bouncing through. Yeah. And,
There's a lot of different artists on here. It's not just like
dude, Marilyn
Rodrigo and Gabriella did Oogie Boogie song.
Yeah, and there's like a string quartet or something like that.
Yeah.
And I like that they still have Danny Elfman, who's like a classic horror composer, like, and just.
Well, he wrote a lot of the original ones.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he's just
Didn't he do a lot of the singing on it too?
Oh, I didn't know. that.
Yeah, he did. I think he sang Jack's parts.
Yeah.
Which is like some iconic shit, and he's got like almost an operatic kind of like tone to his voice.
There's also a Marilyn Manson song. I never really was into Marilyn though, so
he's not a great person.
That's fair.
He did some.
He's like a really bad person.
Yeah. He recently came out. I'm sure Ryan, you've like read up on it a little bit too. Came out. I don't know if you guys remember the actor from Game of Thrones who played Roz, who was the sex worker. Spoilers. Crossbow bolts, whatever, she came out because I think she was dating him for like a hot minute. Apparently, he took a bunch of women and would like chase them around the house with an axe and like non-consensually.
I'm not surprised, but
he's like apparently not a great dude. So fuck you, man.
It does suck because I remember like back in my young years, I used to be obsessed with it. Like I never really listened to him, but I just didn't like the sound of the music. But I used to be really into his interviews where he would like go on and like shit talk on like celebrity shows, like
because it was like edgy shit you didn't experience.
Edgy atheist phase, like he would just like, and it was like the shit he was saying was genuinely good, just, because he was
Well, it
like
was the
able to
whole-
articulate himself very well.
For sure.
Yeah, especially when he was younger and not as messed up from
Yeah.
all the drugs. But especially like when he was blamed for Columbine.
Yeah.
we-
Yeah.
Since again, I'm not necessarily into like his style of metal, but like into the genre, and
Just
we
the
all
genre.
know we all know that like that wasn't the catalyst for Columbine.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of behind him for that, but then over the years, like you get to know his personality more. It's like,
Yeah.
not a great guy. There's a lot of
Yeah.
testimony from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I mean, like anything, I don't think video games make people violent. I don't think metal music makes people violent. In fact, most of the people that I've met in like the hardcore metal community are like the friendliest, bubbliest people you're ever gonna fucking meet, and so welcoming, and accepting.
Right.
I feel like it's like if you're already an asshole, you're gonna be an asshole through it.
Pretty
you know?
much exactly. But yeah, if you're gonna fucking like come at anybody like I mean, come at Marilyn Manson, piece of shit. But fucking Frank from Amur, recently, like not recently, I'd probably say like past 5 years or so, wrote a fucking song called "Bring a Gun to School." So like,
Oh my god.
there's other people you can fuck, like, just
Yeah.
fuck trash people, man. Fuck trash artists. But back to things we actually like, because we can sit here and
Yeah.
trash it all day. Yeah, this fucking album's incredible. It gets me excited fucking every time. It's just like so wholesome. It brings back Halloween season for me.
Yeah, totally.
And just I know I was like
Kidnap the Santa Claus. Can we just talk about that fucking song?
kidnap the Santa Claus, jump him in the pits.
Like, Korn is the perfect artist for it.
Like-
He's just got because he's already theatrical and crazy.
Yeah.
yeah,
He is there. Korn is Halloween.
yeah. And then that
Yeah, there.
that breakdown at the
Davis.
end comes in, like, yeah. I will say, I know it's kind of crap, like not crapping on Nightmare Before Christmas. I still like Stand by Corpse Bride is the better movie for me, but Oogie Boogie is one of the best fucking characters. He's just like the fact they bring in the jazz and the fucking swing. He's just
Yeah,
so
totally.
much fun, dude. Like,
It's so good.
Visually, he's really satisfying too for some reason.
The worms coming out.
I can't really describe it, but like that's my
And
favorite
it's
part
like
of
the way that he moves feels so like
yeah.
yeah, you know,
juicy.
talk about fuck
He's like
Mary
liquid.
Kill.
Yeah.
You know,
He kind of does a little like twirls about like. Yeah.
we're really sticking with Anaconda as the sexy one still. All right, you know.
Yeah. Let's put Oogie Boogie back on the list. How did we not
Yeah.
think about him before?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I guess he is a horror icon. But speaking of icons in music, and Oogie Boogie's fucking great, but I think one of the most
Oogie Boogie next to Haley
well, here's
Williams.
why I'm saying this because he's a horror icon, right? And we're talking about an album and that came out in 2008, a huge formative time for all of us. I think a huge formative artist, not just for us, but everybody in the scene music, the emo community, Warped Tour, everything is fucking Paramore. I mean, think about it. Haley Williams is a fucking god. Like the other day, I saw her. I think it was like a TikTok reaction where MGK posted a thing about like, I'm like the inventor of pop punk, and then like Haley Williams just did a reaction like, really though? So yeah,
I mean, Paramore is the mainstream pop punk band aside from Blink, right?
sorry.
Or Fall Out Boy.
Or Fall Out Boy, yeah.
I mean, there's like a ton, but like
or Green
yeah,
Day,
yeah,
or
we-
Defund Glory.
we could
Yeah.
go on. But
But Newfound was really popular, I guess, when they were
Yeah.
big. But I feel like people don't talk about them still. Like Blink
did-
still talked about.
It
And-
didn't get to that upper echelon.
Fall Out Boy still talked about.
I
Even Panic, in a weird way, Panic doesn't actually have that many songs that were popular until he switched to pop.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
while you guys are on the subject, like I know because like we're saying there's like a ton of like iconic like bands from that scene, but there's no second Paramore. And there's not any attempt that's been made. There is not another Riot. There is not anything like
Yeah.
that. Like you cannot be the second Paramore. And it was unfortunate
Yeah.
with Paramore is like so many people in the scene, and it's mostly gatekeepy like fucking neckbeardy douchebags, or like anybody with a front woman is like, oh my god, they probably sound like Paramore.
I know that it's like the worst thing for like girls trying to become like pop punk singers because they basically just got fucked by the Paramore effect.
It's fucking trash. And then
Right.
like also trans like like trans women and stuff like that. Like look at fucking
Yeah.
See You Space Cowboy. Yeah. If
Yeah.
fucking somebody tries to fucking compare See You Space Cowboy to Paramore, fuck you.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're talking
Or
about
Against Me.
yeah, same shit. Oh my god, fucking Laura Jane Grace
Mm-hmm.
is one of the most fucking powerful humans on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Me and Ryan, we fucking saw in Oneonta, right? The fucking acoustic set, right? Were you there for that?
I was. I wasn't there for that. I had to go back home to record with old band. But we saw Against Me for Free in Brooklyn.
Oh my god, that was like our first like like one of the first weeks we were there too. No one like
Yeah.
you can't fuck with Laura J and Grace. But speaking of the songs you can't fuck with and like new shit and fucking Paramore, they fucking put out a new song called "This Is Why." Omar, take us there, man.
Well, it's the spooky season, so the scariest thing yet is Paramore again doesn't want to release a pop punk album, so now all the pop punk kids are sad. But I don't care because I like indie music. I kind of digged her solo stuff, Pedals for Armor.
It was cool.
And I like this song, but don't love it. I feel like the chorus slaps, but I kind of think Haley Williams has this thing recently where all her verses sound exactly the same. Like all the Pedals for Armor verses
100.
sound just like the verses for this song, where it's like that kind of like slow, mellow, like middling singing style, but like nothing too hooky.
I for sure agree with you on that one. I think like again, I think that like that chorus is catchy as shit. And as far as like indie shit, it's definitely got that like pop indie vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I think like we were talking, Brendan Yates from Turnstile actually filmed that, like did all the production. Which like once you see like the Super 8 kind of film and the grain of it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think
I mean he's a great art director. Like
I mean, look
Turnstile, like they know what they're doing with art.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about Turnstile for sure. But yeah, overall, like same boat with me, Omar. It's and like I don't think anybody should always like expect the same thing out of artists. We were talking about that before. Like let people fucking try different things and change. But I agree, like chorus catchy as shit. But the verses and shit kind of do sound like Pedals for Armor, where it's like, okay, we could, I feel like the whole song could have been like just a funky, catchy thing,
Well, I mean, their last two albums too were both really strong albums, and they weren't pop punk either. They were like Ain't It Fun and like
Ain't It Fun's
iconic. What was on the one after the Laughter? Hard Time.
They're not pop punk, but like there's definitely like more of an energetic vibe. Where I mean, this song as the single, if that has anything to foreshadow about the rest of the album, it's not that same energetic rock vibe. Not necessarily pop punk, but
I heard it's gonna be.
I gave this. Sorry, I gave this a quick listen on my iPhone speaker.
Yeah.
Like the day it came out, and I wasn't like blown away by it.
Yeah.
But I definitely got to do like a secondary listen with.
Yeah. No, I was kind of the same way. Like I was like, all right. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's a song.
Also, I think like the takeaway for me is like, one, I think overall it kind of the mix sounds like a little thin. Like I feel like there could be like a little more layers. And I know it's an indie song, and like there's.
I think they're going for that because I heard they were trying to do basically like 80s post punk for the album.
Yeah.
Like Talking Heads influence.
Which is cool.
Which I can see.
Yeah, I think for me it would be a success if the whole thing is just dancey as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think like the last album, like Hard Times,
dude, great.
What's that other song? Like, or even songs like they were all really like there were a lot of good songs on the last album. So
Ain't It Fun is still fucking like I think about it every day, man. It's a fucking great song.
That's a fucking great song.
Well, that's when Aaron Gillespie was playing drums for him too.
Yeah, and they have like I think lost all their members except for Zach Farrow is.
Yeah, he came back, right?
Yeah. He was the drummer before, right? Yeah.
So yeah,
and he's a great drummer because like back when I was learning drums in high school, like the Brand New Eyes album with his drumming on it was like one of my favorite albums as far as drumming goes.
Well, one of my favorite songs off that album is "Break by Boring Bread."
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that album's fucking classic.
Dude, Decode, like there's so like that. I think the thing about that album is it ruined Portland for all of us because now every time you're there, you're scared of sexy vampire man just picking you up. You know what I mean? But speaking of sex,
that vibe.
Yeah, speaking of sexy men with glowing abs, and they filmed, apparently directed the fucking Paramore "This Is Why" video. We're talking about a fucking band I just saw at one of the most fucking incredible shows I've seen in fucking years last night. One of the most fucking, I don't know, iconic albums to come out recently. The whole nation's fucking obsessed with it. And they're the next fucking Nirvana, in my opinion. Ryan, you wanted to talk about Turnstile and specifically an album that I don't think anybody else, really, we need to say more, like too much. If you don't know it, Glow on.
I mean, it was my album of the year too. So
100%.
last year.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, last year, right?
Go off, Rye.
Yeah. Glow On by Turnstile. Man, what a masterpiece of an album that is. And it's so cool to see like band and like that hardcore vibe transcend into they're playing late night television.
I know. They
And,
had
like,
they had a
they're-
tiny desk.
Yeah, dude. They're
Yeah, the Tiny Desk, like they're getting like all this
Kimmel.
mainstream success, but like they're still really like sticking to their roots. Like
Yeah, totally.
nothing really about them has changed except
No.
like they're just getting tighter as a band.
Yeah.
and
Like, they're adding like some of these experimental aspects into it, and like all like the extra percussion and the synth parts of it.
I love
I can't wait for
love
the
the
next
sound
release.
of that kind of like I don't know where it comes from, but it's definitely 80s inspired. Like the opening of Mystery, that like kind of like whistly
like a modulator.
yeah.
Yeah.
like it reminds me of like fucking like old 80s like commercials or like in between stuff, you know.
And it kind of like it doesn't really have anything to do with the song, but like
Yeah.
just overlays and like sends you into the song.
It just gives you a vibe.
Oh well, I don't know, like
They also have like, and I say this all the time, like, and like kind of what Ryan was saying before, like if you listen to them throughout the years, like I love their old, like I kind of was listening to like to their old shit back then, like you know I've been a fan for like a little while, and
bragging.
no, not like that, no, but overall, like you're right, like they haven't necessarily changed their signature sound because their signature sound is raw punk and hardcore, but
Yeah.
they've just perfected it, as you were saying, and made it like layers, but it's also like so simple and dancey at the same time. It's not like
Yeah, totally.
ostentatious or like way just like this fucking like it's not even that complex. Yeah, like
I think that's why it's accessible, because even though it's his like yelling style is aggressive, it's not like screaming where it's like unpalatable to a normal person, I think.
no, he's like shouting.
Right,
almost.
Like he's singing more so
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
screaming, but it comes across as like that aggressive style.
Yeah.
And like look at the oh, go ahead, Omar.
Oh, I was just saying, like this, like one thing bands like have to like, just I think a lot of bands don't think about, especially in this genre, is like, man, just having like good creative direction in terms of like vibe and like all the art for the band, all their music videos, their like merch, like that stuff. That's just important to get right, because like they have a thing, like they have this like new wave skater style, like all their videos are really colorful, that pastel core, like.
Still cool.
It's definitely no, but you're right. It's definitely like I think like bands and like I think a lot of people don't understand, and it kind of sucks when you like come with people like into people either in the music world or not in the music world who just think like, man, an album just comes together when a band just gets in a room and jams. No,
Yeah, no.
shit. The best shit you're ever gonna hear is planned out like 10 years in advance. Like and like
Yeah.
you know you can tell like you're saying. The aesthetic, the merch, the fucking tour. The EP is 4 music videos all in one 11-minute thing, and it's an
Yeah.
art piece. It's fucking insane. And
Yeah,
kind of, like,
it's so well directed and
it-
like
yeah, and like that again is like their live shows. Like everything is like it's just like kind of going to the other side of like plotting things and planning things. When you go to their shows, which so just to like kind of like give a little insight. My wife and I went to the opening of their tour for the Glow On tour yesterday, the U.S. tour, at the Brooklyn Mirage, which I've never been before. It's mostly an EDM venue, right? It's not like a typical hardcore venue. One, it's huge, right? It's massive, and there's this massive LED wall. So think about Turnstile with all their like aesthetic and lights and shit like that, right?
that's awesome.
So we're there. It's fucking pissing rain. It's freezing. It's rain just coming down, which is so cool for a goddamn opening night of a tour. You go out there, everybody's in ponchos and shit right? It's freezing cold, but you go out there and every single face in that fucking crowd was smiling. Everyone was dancing. Nobody was
Awesome.
mad at each other. Nobody was doing that stupid hardcore macho asshole thing. Everyone's like, they have like a samba fucking breakdown in this song. There's like a fucking like little Spanish kind of groove in some of
Oh,
this.
dude, Blackout has that one
At the
really,
end?
like Latin drumming style.
Dude,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, When I heard that for the first time, I was like,
dude, and
"Oh,
like
yeah."
exactly, and seeing that shit, like we loved it so much that we put Mystery and Blackout in our fucking wedding playlist just because it's fucking
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And like,
and it was so much fun at your wedding too.
dude, like yeah, people were just dancing, and that's like the vibe of Glow On specifically. It's just
Yeah.
fucking good, wholesome, vibey shit. And like again, just yesterday, it was such a fucking like almost an like a privilege and an honor because I don't think I'm gonna. They're gonna be so big, like we're saying, they're playing late night television. I think they're the next like Nirvana. I don't think
Yeah.
we're gonna see them at smaller places again. So getting to see them with the rain pouring down on them as they're playing, everybody's just like soaked, like nobody fucking cares. Everyone's like picking each other up and just like I saw people sambaing and like actually doing like Spanish and Latin dancing and shit like in the
That's
pit.
cool.
It's just fucking goddamn. Just it was the album of the year
Yeah.
for me last year. Same with you, Omar.
Same.
Ryan, you were talking about how credible it is. Front to back, every song is great. Turnstile, go on. What a fucking success. Cheers to y'all. Like, goddamn.
And
Incredible.
I feel like that's saying a lot for me too, because if I'm correct, oh no, never mind. I was gonna say, did Post Human come out that same year? But no, that was 2020.
Oh, that would be fucking tough.
It really came out in 2020.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think like so yeah. So Glow On was 2021.
Yeah.
What else came out that year? Like I don't even know what contested it that year.
Nothing. 'Cause it's
I think
still-
Sakari, I guess, but
That was-
I liked it better.
Was that 2021 or 2020? This might be difficult for me.
Yeah, whatever.
no.
There.
I
No,
still-
that was 2020. That was 2020 as well.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna say fucking just Glow On. Holiday,
Yeah, Glow
fucking No Surprise, TLC, Blackout, Mystery. Dude, like,
Even like the tiny little like alien love call and shit, like in between kind of songs.
so he did that yesterday, and like they did it a cappella before they did it, and everybody
good.
was like, it was just singing along with that, and it was he was like commanding the fucking crowd like a god.
That's awesome.
Did
And,
they
like-
open the show with that?
What the? I don't actually remember what they opened with. They played some old shit too from like the first EP and shit. It was fucking sick. I'll get the set list. I can't remember.
I think I saw a live set where they opened with the that one song that the bassist sings.
Oh, Moon.
Yeah.
Don't roll me up, dude. Moon fucks so hard. And I will say, just cause like kind of like cap it off, I think the most wholesome thing yesterday was Mystery came on, and me and my wife like sat there, and I was like kind of like in the pit area, and it's pouring. She's like over there, kind of in the corner, like watching, and she looks at me, and you know, my wife is she loves to dance, but she's not always in the pit. She saw me, we walked eyes, and she came out in the rain, took her poncho hood off, let the rain like just so, and she's like smiling. She's like, man, it's Mystery. I'm not gonna fucking not. I had to, and we're just grooving.
It's a perfect song.
Fucking wholesome shit. So, cheers again, just real quick. Fucking Turnstile, fucking incredible album. I know everybody knows about it, but yeah, it's fucking incredible. And I think that's a great place to end Root Canal Records. Just what a fucking album. And
Yep.
yeah, everybody at home, thank you for joining us this week on Root Canal Records, and make sure y'all go on.
Go on, baby.
I need you.